Thank you, Dutch. Thank you. We have some new alerts on the donations when you pay through PayPal. We have some new alerts there. The biddy alerts I will be working on this week. We got, I think, a couple new follow alerts. So it should be a pretty interesting evening as we move forward. Welcome to the Inside Star Citizen Review. Here is the fam. We are live. Where are you? Are you watching on YouTube? We thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, we'd like you to smash that like button, break the algorithm. And did you guys notice that the dislike button doesn't have any count anymore? What is up with that bullshit? That's some millennial bullshit where people are worried about their feelings getting hurt if they have too many dislikes over likes. I think that shit is bullshit. And as much as I hated trolls and people who dislike the video, at least I knew where I stood, and I kind of liked the count. I wanted that public. I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed. Put that shit out there and quit crying, millennials. You know, this is not everybody can fucking win. You know, there's winners because there's losers. Okay, and like I'm cool with that game. I can play that game. I'm not worried about being disliked. What the fuck is going on here? Like, look, you can't see dislikes anymore. Odyssey says you learn to lose. This is the way you start a show out, okay? You just spit the truth. You tell people to fucking man up, to woman up, whatever you need to do. And would somebody put the fucking numbers back on the dislike again? I feel like this is like such a statement of our time. I feel like it's a statement of the times we live in right now. The fact that you can't see dislikes anymore. Like the button's there. You can push the dislike button, but you're never going to know how many people disliked it because everything's cool. Everything's fine. Everything's great. We wouldn't want to hurt anybody's feelings now, would we? Fucking pussies. All right. Anyway, let's get ready. Inside Star Citizen. Back to the point, right, Pepe? You're right. I'm waxing poetical. You're right. Let's see here. Inside Star Citizen. We're talking about the Odyssey. We're going to look at the interior, hopefully. Hopefully we get a little Jumptown news. I'm very excited about this one. Let us watch.
This is the first MISC ship in about 5 years. In my mind, it'll be pushing into the further expanses of the universe, going as far as you can go, and seeing what's out there.
Is that Paul? Is that Mr. Jones?
The type of player this ship should appeal to.
Oh, that's crew.
Those players who just like traditionally non-combat experiences. The Odyssey is sort of designed for a more generic role.
Much bigger than I originally thought. That's what she said.
Into the wild blue yonder and just explore.
I thought so. Thanks, Dutch.
Being MISC, obviously they work closely with Xi'an and incorporate tech, so that primarily on the art side gave a lot of flexibility,
Elevator, cool.
But on the design side allowed us to justify some of the more interesting features of the ship.
Missed that.
In terms of the ship from front to back, there's a lot more of that cool levitation tech. Got that classic sort of wide...
Okay, yes, levitation tech is fucking awesome. Yes, Xi'an tech is awesome. I just don't like that MISC exterior dildo look. Like every MISC ship looks like a sexual toy, like an adult toy. Now this one's growing on me, okay? Rim shot. Ding, ding, ding. This one's growing on me. Okay, back to
cockpit. We see on MISC ships like the Freelancer. Underneath, you know, we've got like a prospector type bubble. We house two crew. One person does the tracked beaming, one person does the mining.
Cool.
We've got two unmanned turrets for a little bit of self-defense. There's one at the back under the underneath too.
And then the pilot has a variety of missiles to use.
On
like
the interior, we've
turret?
split it over 3 levels in total. Top deck is mainly some engineering space and refinery.
Oh yeah,
so
refinery,
you can
cool.
mine quantanium and refine it for the ship itself. So that essentially gives you the ability to just generate your own quantum and hydrogen fuel.
Dude, this is like a fucking starbase out in the middle of nowhere, dude. You could live off this motherfucker, couldn't you? That's awesome. You can create your own quantanium. You can fucking fly as long as you want out there. That is interesting. That is a very cool fucking concept right there. You know? Very, very cool. What's up, Rogue? How you doing? By the way, little plug to my friend Rogue here has been talking to me behind the scenes. He's creating his own little Star Citizen radio thing going on here, and he got his license to create like actual legit like cool ass music that you want to listen to. And I'm kind of in the works with Rogue, talking with him a little bit, seeing. I haven't tested it out yet, but just a little plug there for Rogue since he's doing something different and something neat. But anyway, this Odyssey is really growing on me. The exterior look still not. You know, like MISC, man. You know what I mean? MISC is like truly, you know, it's like an adult toy. They look like adult toys, but like, you know, the functioning parts inside are pretty much what matters, right? That's what she said.
Obviously, Star Citizen is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We know we're introducing more systems. Fuel is going to become a major issue, right?
Exactly.
And so this is perfect
exactly
for that kind of scenario. The middle deck is the sort of probably the most dominant of the three.
Do they have a Xi'an version of this on the exterior?
At the front of the ship, and it's quite a nice bridge on the Odyssey because you have this huge bank of stations for all the crew to sit there.
I agree with this, Gray. And apologies, but like we like to give our opinions here while we watch this. So for people that don't have the fucking attention span to have a decent conversation, and you're the type of person that likes, hey, DG, you pause too fucking much. Don't watch me. Get the fuck off my channel. Like, we're here for discussion. We're here for a good fucking time. If you want to be one of the fucking robots out there, like the millions of them, we didn't want you here anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying?
All in one place.
An adult toy from 1940, says Tech.
Every crew member has their own room with ensuite facilities on board.
It's pretty fucking big. We're going to look inside a little bit more on the after party, too. Look at the schematics, talk about it, have a nice little ship talk after we're done here on the ISCR. That's all. I know. I was tempted to say that too, Heartsy.
And then the lower deck leads us to the hangar, which is basically what the whole ship is
pretty well finished, King. You know what I'm saying?
So that really did dictate the dimensions and the proportions of the ship.
That's awesome. I want to go back there and we'll look at the hangar again because I was wondering what kind of ships we can fit in there. There we're seeing was that a Saber? So like that's pretty interesting to see. I wonder if there's a little extra room where we could squeeze a little bit more things into this thing. I heard you can also fit like a prospector in here, which might be. I personally, with a ship like this, would probably have like a fighter. I would have a fighter in here as like an escort of sorts, or some ship that would give you an additional protection. You could literally stack sabers on top of one another and watch them blow up as they collide and desync together. Yeah, I mean, like I would put something beefy. I would put something beefy in the back. Boy, this whole show's just going downhill. It's just one big sexual innuendo, isn't it?
To the hangar, which is basically what the whole ship is formed around, essentially. So that really did dictate the dimensions and the proportions of the ship.
It's a generic hangar. It's designed to our environmental hangar metrics, so there's a huge range of ships that can fit in there. You could bring a fighter ship if you want more defense. You could bring a prospector if you want to do even more mining. The hangar on there is a huge volume and helps support any choice you want to make with ships.
There's trying to cover
Heartsy medical up bay here in there for any accidents that happen along the way.
You guys are over top of me. What's up, ostentatious? When they got the date on this, King?
We have this one room which is kind of really in there just as like the rule of cool. You can just sort of sit there and just see space, you know, as you're zooming along.
The natural competitor to the Odyssey is the carrot.
Thanks for the update,
In my
bro.
mind, it's a carrot killer. What you can do with it is
It's a
pretty
carrot killer.
impressive. It's kind of the multi-tool
All the
of
carrot
the
tears.
spaceship world.
It just gives you almost ultimate flexibility on how you want to play. The MISC Odyssey is the ultimate exploration ship.
The MISC Odyssey is the first offering from the storied manufacturer in quite some time, and they seem intent on bursting back into the scene with a massive impact that is sure to make Carrack owners look twice. And while that wraps up
They're actually
our
pumping the
multi-week
ships out
coverage
much
of
faster,
the new
Ray.
ships and
How you
vehicles
doing,
of this
buddy?
year's
Good to see you.
Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, let's go ahead and take a look into the future with a special vehicle-themed sprint report. To get things started, members of the EU Vehicle Content Team have returned their attentions to the Hull A and Hull C as they continue refining the work previously done in order to bring it up to current standards and, perhaps most importantly, metrics.
All right.
Now, if you've been following the project for some time, you'll know we learn with each and every ship we make.
Yeah,
and it's
totally with
essential
those
to take
rings,
those
Safari.
lessons
How you doing,
forward
buddy?
so
Just
they
get
can
to try the
inform
coffee
each
yet,
and
man?
every ship yet to come. Now, while the Hull A continues its journey through final art exterior and gray box interior, what you can see here with the Hull C are the results of not just some recent lighting passes, but an effort to update the interior scales of certain areas for improved player and NPC comfort alike, addressing those metric issues and experimenting with some early attempts at new building block screens for tractor beams and the like. And speaking of tractor beams, the vehicle content team has begun building the size 1, 2, and 3 tractor beams that can be equipped to a variety of vehicles, bringing with it some long-awaited functionality to ships like the 300 seen here, the Caterpillar, and more. Minor updates are also underway to the Starfarer as it gets ready to make its debut not just as the first refueling ship in Star Citizen, but the first refining vehicle as well, as new additions to the exterior walkway will allow it to take canisters of newly mined fuel from other spaceships.
Dude, how about a redesign of the whole mess that is the maze, that is the Starfarer? How many times you get lost in that fucking thing? Starfarer is so haphazardly designed, man. But I'm glad they're adding this.
Ships for processing. And yes, we want to update the interior just as much as you do. We're looking at where we can slip that into the schedule now, so hang tight.
All right. I feel like there was some weird thing that just happened right there. What just happened right there? Was there some weird dimensional time thing going back and forth between Jared and I that he heard what the fuck I was saying? This is why you have such a committed backing. This is why people continue to support the program, the project, is because the developers are listening. It is so rare. I was talking about this when we went over the Kotaku rant that I had about that fucking Kotaku. I actually put that on the channel today. When I just had this giant rant about that shitty Kotaku article, and I was trying to get across the point to that shitty journalist that the whole reason why it's over 400 million is because of this level of transparency and this communication where you actually feel like they're listening and it matters to them as much as it matters to you. So rare in any title. This whole type of development is rare. The whole way it's being funded is rare. So yeah, let's just keep going.
Up next,
let's
move along to the Vulture, the entry-level salvage ship from Drake, which has moved into final art phase with a look at the habitation area,
They have a copy
as well as the cockpit. And for ships just beginning their journey, we can announce that the Scorpius fighter from RSI has begun its journey through white box phase, where the team works to ensure all current metrics are met and that all the component spaces work as we'd like them to. It's so far so good, with no surprises.
I gotta go back. Hold on a second. Hold on. I gotta go back. Hold on.
And for ships just beginning their journey, we can announce that the Scorpius fighter from RSI has begun its journey through white box phase, where the team works to ensure all current metrics are met and that all the component spaces work as we'd like them to.
That is
It's
slick
so far,
as
so good,
fuck.
with no surprises, which itself is kind of always a surprise. And finally, before we let you go, we showcase the updated concepts for the brand new
RSI,
merchant at this year's CitizenCon. And
RSI
now I'm
ain't too
pleased to
bad.
report that in our
Say that like
final
third or fourth
IAE
down the list for me.
2951 vehicle episode, that the Merchunk man itself has begun its journey and moved
Yeah, I remember
from
when we
concept
first-
phase into white.
I remember when we first brought that out through a leak, like, God, that was forever ago. So it's really cool to see the progress happen. And, you know, for everybody bitching about how long it takes these ships to get done, you know, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I think it just depends upon the design, how difficult the complexity is, and not only like fitting the interior design into the exterior elements, but also, you know, the fact that you're talking about how many ships are out now that are flyable that people kind of disregard when they talk about, when I hear this talking point about like, oh, these ships they take so fucking long to make. How many ships are there now that are flyable? You know, that argument where people are like, well, there aren't even a lot of ships and all of them are in design and blah, blah, blah. Thank you. 120 fucking flyable ships, man. I mean, like, come on. Like, shouldn't that argument be squashed already too? Like, man, I really think people hop on the fucking hate wagon just to get views these days. It was bad back in the day. Some people called me naysayers back in 2017 when I was bitching about FPS and fucking you know, the lack of OCS because it wasn't hitting around, and it hit right around that time and really improved, and started to change my opinion of the game because I had quite a negative opinion back in like 2017, and people followed me because I was speaking truth and it was rational. And back then I was a naysayer, and now I'm a white knight. It's so funny. It's really so funny when you look at these things that are happening right now, and you see 120 flyable ships, and you still see people who are on that fucking hate wagon trying to get those clicks and those views, saying there aren't enough ships out, or like ships are taking too long. like there's 120 fucking ships right now. 120. Like, what? There's going to be such a diversity in the amount of ships in this game. It's going to feel like fucking Cowboy Bebop. It is going to be so unique out there in the fucking verse when you're flying around. There's going to be so many different fucking ships out there. It's going to be amazing, man. Like, who's talking about that? Anybody talking about that? Crazy, man. Crazy.
With this highly anticipated first image. Hey, everything starts somewhere. She may not look like much, but she's got it where it counts. And you're going to get to follow along with it from the very beginning of its journey from this point forward. So what did we learn this week?
King's saying, hey, you know, we should get better frame rates with object container streaming as a server. Or he's not object. You mean dynamic server meshing, don't you? Yeah. Oh, yeah, you actually say that down below. Yeah, with dynamic server meshing, as the loads will be smaller. Yeah, right, exactly, King. And you know what the cool thing is, King, is if you go on my channel today for older cards that are like in the 2000 series, or if you got like a 1080 or a 2080, I don't think it affects the 3000 chipset NVIDIA cards, but if you have the 1000 or 2000 series cards, there's a great video on the channel today where we talk about how to increase your frame rates, and man, it fucking increased my frame rates by about like 25-30%. It was ridiculous. It was like 3 easy steps on my NVIDIA fucking software, dude. Yeah, even back down to the 970, right, dude? Yeah, like it'll increase your frame rates, your frame per second, like light years, man. It is so awesome. So, latest NVIDIA driver halved his frame rate, says Rogue. Wow, you can check out the video. Check out the video I have on the channel, Rogue. There's a tutorial there that we put out today that's going gangbusters, and it was by a guy named Just Dave, and it increases your frame rate, your FPS by like a bajillion. It's amazing.
Well, we learned that MISC wasn't
It's
content
really
to
easy.
just let
It's really
Anvil sit alone at the top of the exploration pyramid with the recently revealed
Saves
Odyssey.
me a few thousand.
That there are a variety of new ships and ship updates that will make their way to the persistent universe between this year's IAE and the next. And that sometimes I'm
I
just
gained
going to
around
hide stuff in
15
the outro to
myself,
reward folks
15
who
to
watch
18.
until the very end. Something like a bunch more Banu Merchantman updates, maybe.
Oh, here we go. This
Looking
is what
good.
I wanted.
Nice. That's a turret, not an ED-209.
Wait, that turret was...
Ooh, some video.
Damn. That is awesome. That's right. I forgot the turret pops out. We saw that at CitizenCon. I think we saw that.
Yes, sometimes I'm a jerk, but I'm your jerk. Now, don't forget that our big IAE All Ships Q&A airs tomorrow on Star Citizen Live on Twitch, and it's your chance to ask about the Spartan, the Raft, the Odyssey, and all the latest vehicles from this year's IAE.
We're going to have a ship talk after this.
And then we'll be right back here next week with a look at the exciting future of Gravlev and revamped Jumptown 2, both coming in Alpha 316. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you all next week.
Next week, Jumptown 2.0. I cannot wait.
And now, for people who stick around until the very end, I got this.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. It's got a peak. That's very Voltron. That was awesome.
It's not coming soon.
Picotron. Dude,
sometimes we like
awesome.
To have fun.
That was pretty good. See, that's the shit I used to love Disco getting into, man. When Jared did that shit on his own channel, I missed that. So good. So very good. That was a good one. Again, if you guys are watching us on YouTube and you missed us live here on the stream, don't worry about it. Just push that like button over there and then try and get yourself over here. If you want notified, get on our Discord. A lot of amazing people right here. We are going to have an after party and we're going to have a lot of fun. So Pepe, switch us over into some ship talk, if you will, and we'll get busy on that.